Hey guys, Jay here and welcome back. And as you know, I sold $51,000 while traveling through Japan, the Philippines, and Thailand. So I want to break down the entire process while working 1 hour a day and enjoying the time here in Asia while still growing the Amazon business. Okay, so number one here, as you can see, I left for Japan on the 2nd and I got there on the 3rd and I left on the 9th. I did around $15,595 in sales in those 6 days, really kind of 5 days while being in Japan. And I have a pretty good return rate, as you can see here, 5 out of 500 units. Then in the Philippines, I took my entire team to Siargao, which is an island in the Philippines. And even when nobody was working on my team, nobody with the sourcing, account management, anything, we did $19,000 in sales. And then lastly, I finished off the year in Thailand, where I did $7,000 in sales, where I was there for 4 days, enjoying spending the rest of 2025 in Asia. And I want to break it down step by step because I've been doing this now for a long time when it comes to traveling and doing Amazon FBA and running the business on 1 hour a day or even less. So it doesn't take an incredible amount of time or skill to make this happen. So I want to break it down step by step. But first, go over some pictures. So this is me in Japan, one of the best countries I've ever been. This is me in the Philippines with my entire team. Missing one member, wasn't in the photo. And then this was me in Thailand, my second time in Bangkok, and all great places to run an Amazon business or just build any sort of remote income in general, because you could do it on any time zone and it is great to run it there. Okay, now let's go through it step by step. And this one's gonna be a little bit different. We're gonna go through kind of like this flow chart, breaking down all the different ways of how I basically run my routine and schedule, and it's going to give you good insight on how to manage this for your future or current Amazon business and how to really delegate it at scale. Okay, and not all of this you're going to see me mention talking about certain points when it comes to having a VA or a team member or an employee in the business, but it's not required, right? You can just swap yourself with them and it doesn't take an incredible amount of time. Okay, so here's the 1 hour daily system. Let's kick it off. All right, so for the first 10 to 15 minutes when it comes to your working time with Amazon, you're checking the dashboard. That is Seller Central and Seller Board. And I haven't changed this in 4 years. When I wasn't traveling, when I was traveling, when I am traveling, I do not change the same routine. I just open up Seller Central. I see what the sales were from yesterday. I see what the sales are so far today. Typically I do it in the morning at 8 or 9 o'clock. And then I see the sales from where we're on track for the month. And then when it comes to Seller Board, you can actually look at your profit, which is actually even better, right? Because you can see how much money you actually made from the day before and so on, all right? Now, for me, again, like I mentioned, it's going to be a coordination kind of thing, right? Because I have a team, I'm coordinating with a team, I'm talking with a sourcing member, a VA, an account manager, whatever it may be. But for you, when you're just starting as a solo, just getting started at the business, I didn't have anybody to coordinate with, and you won't have anybody to coordinate with. So this delegation part of things and coordination side of things will just kind of be done by you, okay? But we're going to go through the chart from a little bit to the top, a little bit to the bottom, okay? So first, assign tasks. So one of the best things that could happen when it comes to building an Amazon business is having an account success manager. Now, I didn't hire my account success manager till a little bit later into my Amazon journey and into my travels, but it is so essential to have someone who manages all of your orders, tracks all the shipments, make sure that you have enough inventory going back into Amazon, because here's the golden rule. This is one of the toughest things when it comes to the business. You can see here I've highlighted. Once you have 30% of your inventory sold in that particular listing, let's say for example you had 100 units inbound to Amazon, now you have 30 left. Well, you have to be reordering that inventory, and even that might be a little bit late, to make sure that you stay in stock by the time the next cycle comes around. Okay, so by having an account success manager, they can track those stock levels, restock alerts, monitor how much volume you're having, because if 1 day or 2 days you don't check your seller account, you don't work for a day or two, then you're going to come back to it. Maybe if you sold 30 units when you were supposed to sell 10, it's great news, right? It's great for us because we have good profit, but now we have to restock at a faster pace. So the account success manager is massive for that, okay? So they can trigger that inventory alert saying, hey, you need to buy, or you can be doing it for yourself. Hey, I need to buy to get more inventory inbound, okay? Now, I want to go up a little bit to talk about a different side of the things when it comes to with a VA, right? Like I mentioned with the account success manager. So a lot of things that are handled when it comes to it are very, very general and basic, right? Like lost inventory, compliance, or basic issues. And this is kind of like a broad thing because when it comes to Amazon, there's not too much that comes up with it, right? There's no customer service side of things. There's no, shipping confusion or anything with that side of things because Amazon handles all of that on their back end. So really what we have is if we have any inventory that we got lost when we sent it into the fulfillment center, we have to do a reimbursement for. If we have any IP complaints or complaints from Amazon, we have to kind of settle those on the back end with Seller Central. And then basic issues is just like if you get a buyer message or anything, you could just tell the buyer what the status is of the order or whatever they might be asking, which is happens once in a blue moon, you get a buyer message from anybody, okay? So kind of basic stuff to take care of, right? Now, when it comes to actually buying these products, because the entire business is built on coordinating, buying, relationships, whatever it may be. And I'm not just talking about Amazon wholesale or Amazon brand direct, right? Because that's kind of a different level when it comes to building the actual business. I'm talking about buying orders in bulk from these suppliers, regular retailers, okay? So you don't have to have a tax ID, a permit, EIN, all that crazy stuff. You just have to have a relationship with them, right? And it comes to buying or just trading emails, okay? So when it comes to a supplier relationship, you can have a VA for this, or you're gonna be doing it completely yourself. And what happens here is you have some sort of supplier, let's say it's a mom and pop, like Jay's lawn care supplies and whatnot, and you're looking to buy in bulk from them. So what you're doing is you're purchasing the leads by emailing the bulk suppliers, and you're going it through that process. So it's very, very easy to actually run and sustain the business when you're on that 1 hour a day time schedule. If you're just buying 100 units at a time, 20 units at a time, 50 units at a time, because then you now have a relationship with the supplier. You can email them whenever you want, regardless of the time zone, and buy by getting an invoice sent over to email, place the order on the website at any time in bulk, and then you move forward with it. And it makes things a lot easier. Now we're gonna touch into that a little bit more because it's extremely important, okay? Now, to pull those two together, what if you have a team, right? You're gonna do team check-ins and have some sort of direction. If you don't have a team, that entire check-in is done by yourself. And believe me, I've done this many times because you're handling kind of every part of the business, but you're trying to minimize the amount of time you're spending on it. So one, you can enjoy your time traveling or just enjoy your time at home, whatever it may be. And you're kind of checking in with yourself. So you're looking at things in kind of like a level, right? With where are we at in the business? Where are we at in the business when it comes to our orders? Where are we at in the business when it comes to how much money we're spending? What kind of inventory do we have inbound? All these questions you're asking yourself. Because right at my stage of the business, right, when you're kind of growing into it, you have a sourcing team where I check in, hey, how many leads do we have on a daily basis? Or my account success manager, how much inventory do we need to repurchase? Or where are we at with our current stages of inventory? You're asking all these different questions, but when it's just you, it just goes around yourself, right? Those questions kind of revolve around you. So it takes a little bit of time for me to send messages on WhatsApp, or if you want to swap yourself into your shoes, we're doing this on a 1 hour a day, 1 hour a day basis. You want to basically just ask yourself, okay, where are we at? Check in. How do we kind of have to move forward to make progress and handle all these different departments? Okay. Now, coordinate with team members. If no team members, nothing changes, okay? Now for 20 minutes, this is probably one of the bulk part of your time, the hour a day that we're trying to thread the needle on. You're forecasting decisions and you're just buying, okay? So a lot of my day when it comes to my schedule is saying, when are we gonna buy specific products in our catalog and at what times, right? So when you're just starting the business, you're trying to buy any and every product to really bring into revenue and profit. But once you build out a catalog of 5 to 7 to 10 listings, you're saying, okay, when are we restocking these products? When are we buying new products? And you're really just forecasting everything, okay? And you have to do this on a weekly basis, okay? You have to, right? And when I say weekly basis, this is just a recap of like, okay, where are we at on a broad picture? When it comes to a daily basis, you're still forecasting how much money are we spending? Are we sourcing a little bit? Are we trying to find coupons and deals to make it really work? Are we emailing the supplier? We're kind of boiling it down into that 20-minute time period, all right? Now, weekly product performance review. So I do this one on a daily basis when it comes to looking at the account, the general dashboard kind of things. But more importantly, on a broad scale, like I mentioned, you have to recap exactly how you performed by looking at your profits and your revenue throughout the course of the week on that specific product or a product line, right? So if you're selling a lot of healthcare products, look at each individual listing in ASIN and saying, what is the trajectory of that product? Is it gonna sell well next month, 2 months? Is it selling well this week? Did it already sell well? Or should we move it from the inventory? So watch how this happens here and how important this becomes. Do the final checks for yourself. Are we still at 30% ROI? Yes, move forward. Are we at sales sufficient? Are we still at 100 plus sales per month? Yes, move forward, right? Is the seller count steady? Meaning, is there any competition rises, any big sellers, any seller count drastically going up? If that does happen, then you have to phase out the product. replace it out of your catalog and pull something into your catalog that's a lot better, all right? Because that's what this business is all about. Build a strong catalog, keep replacing the fat at the bottom, and then add better and better products to the top of it, okay? So now, if you say yes to all those questions, then you have to scale up the product. Add more inventory, feel more confident allocating your money into that specific product, right? Because if we have $5,000 or $2,000 to spend on total on inventory, that money has to go a very, very long way for you to grow the business in the early days. And if you're making those bad buying decisions and not phasing products out, then that 2,000 becomes 1,000 because 1,000 of it is garbage. Now we have 500 because you made 2 bad buys, right? So you can see how it kind of trickles up, especially when you have low amount of money into inventory, all right? Now, another one when it comes down to it, right? You have to phase out the product, reduce the inventory, and execute this through your team or through yourself, okay? So like I said, if you don't have a team and you're evaluating on a weekly basis and you're asking, this side of your shoulder, then this side of your shoulder, are things working? Are things going right? Yes or no, replace the product or add more inventory into it. And when it comes to being an admin in the Amazon space, me and you trying to make a decision on which products we're buying and selling, you have to have those extra checks and boundaries because this is the highest role of the business. If you, like I said, if you have $1 million to put into inventory, it doesn't matter if it's $1 million or 10,000, how far is that money going? If it's 1% ROI, it's not going that far. If it's 100% ROI and they're all perfect purchases, you're gonna be growing the business really, really fast. All right, now, so I wanna take it a little bit back to the start of things to kind of recap or kind of introduce how we're gonna look at this entire process and how this works for me on an hour-a-day basis and how all these systems kind of all join into one, okay? So, I have basically weekly or monthly bulk order reviews. When you're able to contact a supplier and buy a product in bulk or have an opportunity with them to just continue to order weekly, monthly, and never have to worry about order cancels and whatnot, you have to review that and say, where are we looking at for next month and how much are we forecasting for our inventory, okay? So you have to calculate how well you can sell the inventory, right? So it's not about anybody else. It's how well can you and your business, your account, your seller account sell the inventory. Because if you have 10 reviews as a seller, and someone has 1 million reviews, well, the guy who has 1 million reviews is gonna sell 100 units. You are gonna sell 0. He'll sell 1,000, you'll sell 1. All right, it's literally that's what happens on a daily basis. So you have to make sure, okay, if I already did a test buy, how well did it do? If I didn't, how well do you think my seller account can sell inventory? Now, here's a pro tip as well. If all the sellers on the listing are under 100 reviews, it's basically fair game for anybody. But if there's a few sellers with 2 or 10,000 reviews, well, you have to avoid them because you're gonna get 1 or 2 sales, okay? But if everybody's a small seller, it's fair game. You have to do a test buy, see how well you perform in that test buy, then double down into it, okay? Again, based on sales velocity. Next, place large orders to the prep center. Your inventory is going from supplier to prep center to Amazon. This is exactly what I do, right? It's the same standard flow and process, okay? So right to the warehouse, then you save time on sales tax by sending it to a sales tax free prep center, Montana, New Hampshire, Oregon. They're pretty much everywhere, or Delaware. And you're able to go and travel, okay? So you're saving money a little bit. Maybe you're saving the most amount of money because if you did it yourself, yeah, you'd have to do physical labor, but you save maybe a few coins here and there. But what does it really matter, right? You have the freedom to kind of do this business remote, okay? Now, back kind of to the top and how we take things all the way through, right? So like I said, low stock alert. We have less than 30 days left to up our stock and whatnot and bring that back into inventory. So we have to review sales velocity and trends. Consider seasonality with Keepa. Okay, so I say this all the time. You have to master and get a degree into Keepa. And if you don't, you have no shot at winning in the business. Okay, so you have to understand, all right, is seasonality coming into play? That's really the only thing you have to worry about, or a big seller. Then master the Keepa and saying, okay, how well do these sales do per month? What's the track of it? Is it consistent? How many sellers are jumping on this listing? Is the pricing consistent? Good, move forward to the next one. You make a buying decision on should we buy again or should we not buy again, okay? And when you want to reorder, you can adjust the quantity, right? You bring it, if you buy 50 units, you go down to 25 units. If you bought 50 units, you go up to 100 units. Whatever is easy, okay? Whatever makes sense for that specific listing and business. And what you do is you place the order with the supplier, send it to the prep center, notify the prep center, Sheets or software, whatever the prep center uses. If they have Google Sheets, which is typically common or the easiest, or if they have a specific fancy software, go into the software or Google Sheets, log what product is coming, the product ASIN, the title, everything about the product UPC that you need to have in there, ASIN and whatnot. And then just monitor the shipping into the prep center and over into Amazon, okay? And then you have to save your order invoice and reprice your listing with a repricer whatever repricer that you choose for the business, okay? Now, that pulls it into a ton of a spiral effect into a business that you can work out of for 1 hour a day while doing it, while traveling and whatnot. But a lot of things come into play with it, whether it has just you or an entire team, and you eventually grow into that with the business over time as you build through it, okay? So there's my entire rundown when it comes to being in the Philippines, being in Japan, being in Thailand, and running this business and getting to $40,000 plus in sales in just a few weeks. So as always, if you guys like the video, please like and subscribe. I'm going to be making one every single day and more of these kind of Miro long form videos. That way you guys can learn at a faster and better pace for the business. So I will see you guys in the next one.